Welcome to your Season 20 Blaseball weather update. This is the mid-season forecast. Warning: this video contains forbidden knowledge. Stop watching now if you do not wish to access hidden information. This video would not have been possible without the work of the Society for Internet Blaseball Research. In a surprise to no one, flooding remains the most common weather during the mid-season, with Sun 2 and black holes remaining in second and third respectively. Hawaii will host the most black hole games, whilst the Pillars see the most reverb and LA the most Sun 2. The Hellmouth will host the most peanuts and feedback games, with Houston seeing the most eclipses and salmon, and Atlantis aptly has the most flooding. Stay tuned for a team-by-team breakdown after a brief economy recap. Flooding has decreased from the Earl season, as have black holes, but eclipse and Sun 2 are up. All snack weathers are still the highest occurring of all weathers, so they are a good investment if you like them. Tokyo will see one game in which to use sweetener and one in which to use psychoacoustics. Flooding will be their most common weather, and they see the most of that of any team. The Fridays get 3 games in which to welcome more bird friends, and 4 games in which to use flood pumps, but black hole will be their most frequent weather. The Mechanics get 5 games in which to use psychoacoustics and echo chamber. Sun 2 is their highest occurring weather, but they will also see 2 glitter games. The Garages see 1 coffee game, 1 birds game, but 4 in which to use psychoacoustics. Flooding and salmon are their joint highest weathers. The Lovers see 1 coffee game and 3 birds games. Salmon is their most common weather. They play in both polarity and glitter, so the only weather they won't see in the mid-season is coffee 2 and coffee 3s. The Tacos get 1 game in which to add feathered friends and 4 games in which they might see heat magnet at play. They will have 9 Sun 2 games at home and 14 overall for their modifications, making it both their most common weather and the most games played in it of any team. The Magic have 5 games to use solar panels and 1 game in which to use birdhouses. Sun 2 will be their most common weather. The Sunbeams are busy, with 6 games in which to use psychoacoustics and echo chamber, 3 games in which to use solar panels, and 4 salmon games from their weather increaser. Black hole will be their most common weather, but they will play the most peanuts and feedback games of any team. The Jazz Hands see 7 games of Sun 2 from their weather increaser, 2 coffee games for their sweetener, 3 for psychoacoustics and LCD sound system, and even 1 for their birdhouse. Their highest weather will be Sun 2. The Stakes see 2 coffee 3s games, but nothing from their other modifications. Flooding is their most common weather, and they will be the only team not to play in reverb in the mid-season. The Spies get 4 chances to use flood pumps, 2 to use LCD sound system, and 1 birds game. Sun 2, salmon and flooding will be their joint highest weathers. The Wild Wings play 3 flooding games at home, alongside a coffee 2 game and 4 Sun 2 games. Their most frequent weather is flooding, but they will also play the most games in solar eclipse across the ILB. The Breath Mints get 5 opportunities to use both psychoacoustics and echo chamber, plus a solar eclipse game. Black hole will be their most common weather, and they will play the most games in it of any team. They will also play in polarity. The Firefighters see just 1 coffee game in the mid-season in which to use sweetener. Their highest weather will be flooding. The Worms are doing a lot, seeing 4 flood pump games, 1 psychoacoustics game, 2 birdhouse games, and are granted 4 black hole games at home. They have 7 black hole games overall for jam-packed, and their most common weather will be flooding. The Moist Talkers see only 2 flooding games at home, but that increases to 7 across the whole mid-season. Black holes will be their most frequent weather, and they also see the most glitter games of any team. The Flowers get 2 games in which to use psychoacoustics, but nothing for their other mods. Their highest weather will be flooding. The Millennials modifications are going all in, with 2 games for psychoacoustics, 3 for flood pumps, and 2 for solar panels. Their joint highest weathers will be Sun 2 and flooding. The Pies get no coffee or birds games at home, but they do get 5 birds games away. Their most common weather is Sun 2, and they will play in both polarity and glitter, meaning the only weathers they won't see in the mid-season are the coffees. The Crabs see 1 black hole game at home, 1 game in which to use psychoacoustics, and 3 for flood pumps. They'll get 5 black hole games overall for their mods, but their most frequent weather will be flooding. The Shoe Thieves get 2 chances to use psychoacoustics, but no coffee. Flooding is their highest weather, and they play the most birds and polarity games of any team. The Georges have 3 opportunities to use LCD sound system and psychoacoustics, along with 1 coffee game and 3 black holes. Their weather increaser gives them 11 flooding games at home, and they truly will be underwater as this becomes 14 overall, making it their most frequent weather. The Dalles can ramp up their sound system and psychoacoustics 4 times in the mid-season and add a coffee game to the mix, but flooding will be their most common weather. The Tigers get 2 salmon games from their increaser and 1 opportunity for heat magnet. They see just 2 eclipses overall and will see 2 blood rain games away, but their highest weather will be black holes. Thanks for tuning into the weather. I'll be back on Thursday with your late season forecast. But until then, rejoice, play ball.